How do I feel looking back on 25 years? I'm incredibly proud that we are still here as such a vibrant organisation.
We are a bunch of guys who literally learn the game by watching it on YouTube. And they get hit, and they're like, I wasn't ready for that.
The sense of camaraderie and seeing that continue off the field.
Whereas in the first few years, it was kind of like, this could fall apart tomorrow.
All is in readiness here. The stars are out. The big stage is here. The red carpet is rolled out.
Looking forward to this, as we like to say, a humdinger.
And the question is, can you teach old dogs old tricks? This is a rematch of last year's grand final between the two sides.
They made the grand final last year, now a rematch. It was a slugfest.
Every single player on that team is a weapon.
I'll tell you what, if that doesn't make the hair stand up on the back of your neck, you might want to check your pulse.
So, hang on to a partner. This is going to get rough and ready. The two best sides here at the Nationals. The dream rising to the top in Prince fashion. And these boys are going to get it on. Smash mouth in the middle. And a fantastic mark in front by the number 12.
For the air, Coleman went for it. Look out, here comes trouble.
Sportscast, Courage Boom Opera out of the middle. Everyone goes down and gets funky.
Saying, calm it down. We got this. Let's take some good marks. Let's play some clean footy. That's where we shine.
And the umpire says, I may need to shovel the scraper off the ground. Messiah says, give me that ball. And she did. She took it away.
He tosses it to the Hammonds and the Gilmore and says, go after it, my daughters, and play footy.
Inexperienced, a little bit probably nervous and over anxious. You've got to keep it plugging away. It'll come.
Yeah, no big tackle put in there, but it was high, just a little high around the shoulders.
Taken by the 24 for Minnesota. Freeman in the score. Here's the number 23. He's taken, played on, shoots, and scores! That is, we have some new kids on the block with regards to USAFL Nationals.
I love the fact that all these Americans love this sport.
Yes. He tosses it to the Hammonds and the Gilmore and says, go after it, my daughters, and play
the Silver Lake Sports Complex in Ontario, California.
Inexperienced, a little bit probably nervous and over anxious. You've got to keep it plugging away.
USAFL National Championships. Our first game of the day. The Division One match will decide one of the two grand finalists later on today in men's Division One. It's the Denver Bulldogs and the New York Magpies. My name is Brian Barish, alongside former Denver Bulldog, current USA Revolution head coach Tom Ellis. Tommy, Denver has a history of excellence, especially on the men's side. They've made it to 12 grand finals. They've won 8 of them. They've made it to 11 and won 8. With a win today, and essentially the winner of this game will make it to the grand final. What do you think of their chances vis-a-vis that of the New York Magpies?
Yeah, I said it when we were talking about this way earlier about how Denver's never dropped out of D1. They've always been in D1. They're the only team in the country that's done that. And if you look at the results yesterday, they smashed Seattle. New York tied Seattle. So you know, looking on paper, they should win this game. It's wet. That's going to make it a little bit level. So we'll see how that goes.
The New York Magpies coming in with a record of 1-0-1. As we mentioned, they defeated D.C. They drew with Seattle. And Denver won both of those games. So essentially the winner of this game advances. If this game ends in a draw, the advantage would be for the Denver Bulldogs, and they would advance to their second grand final and 3 nationals. New York grand finalists a year ago before going down to Austin, trying to get back for the second time in a row. and looking for their first grand final victory in 8 years. We'll tell you right here at the top that we do not have numbers for the New York Magpies men, so we will do the best in identifying as best we can, and we beg your indulgence. All is in readiness. The Magpies are in their famous black and white stripes. They're heading from left to right, and the Denver Bulldogs are in the red, white, and blue tricolors. And we are underway here. The big man rise above me, and we're underway on Championship Sunday. There's Thomas Cremeri, the former Chicago Sun, moving the ball forward. And now New York is going to move it back in the other direction. Ball on the ground. This is a wet ground. That ball is going to gather all sorts of moisture after the heavy overnight rain last night. It's going to be like chasing a greased watermelon. A free kick has been awarded. New York has the early opportunity. Up on the far side they go. And the ball has gone out of bounds, and we'll have a restart. Skills are going to be very, very important today, Tommy, especially with the conditions.
Yeah, it's going to be really ugly at the beginning of this game with this wetness. It should start drying up. I think this ground can hold this water.
And it's supposed to get up into the mid-70s today, although right now it is very much hoodie weather. Ball's on that far side and right in front of the taco truck that is not yet open yet. There's a little bit of a wrestling match happening, but all in the spirit of going after the footy, and we'll have a ball up. The Denver Bulldogs, as we mentioned, 8-time men's national champions in Division I. They are the leaders. Austin trying to come within striking distance. They've won 6 all-time. Denver's 4-time-in-a-row winning streak from 2002 to 2005 may be tied. Austin has won every D1 title since 2018. Free kick to the Denver Bulldogs, again going from right to left on your screen here on Go Live Sportscast.
Yeah, he got slung down a bit onto the ground. We'll see how he comes up.
A little bit the worse for wear, but he's got players out to the left side, and he tosses the ball to Cooper Krenkels. One of a handful of Australians on this team. And that's the thing with the Bulldogs. They do have a fair bit of Aussies, but their American talent is very good, and it served them in good stead. Contested mark opportunity claimed by the Magpies, going back the other way and jumping up, and he takes a mark. Against that is Krenkels again, sending that one inside the 50-meter arc, but going back is Mike Murphy to take it, and Magic's going to be key in the back line for the New York Magpies today, Tommy.
Another Revolution player that has a lot of experience.
Crash boom operas. Cremeri came up over the back. And they're going to play on. Advantage is called, and the mark is taken right in front. Murphy was trying to get it in defense. He got there maybe a split second too late, and it is Lachlan Fleet. And I'll tell you what, as dangerous as they are moving the ball through the middle, Tom, they've got guys in the forward line who can take those contested marks and then convert them.
Yeah, seeing it in the wet right now, too, and he took that mark, that's going to be very, very good in the future as this game starts to dry out a little bit.
Fleet from 35 meters out. It looks absolutely perfect off the boot. And there is the first score of Championship Sunday here at the Silver Lake Sports Complex on the Watch AFL scoreboard. It's the Denver Bulldogs 1 straight 6. New York no score. And that's a very, very good start for Denver. As you said, it was going to be a little bit ugly, but from that ugliness came a little bit of sunshine converted there by Mr. Fleet.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good one. I mean, you're at an angle. It's a 45 out with a wet ball. That's a really good goal.
Ball back in the middle of the ground, and if you're watching Aussie rules for the first time after a goal, the umpire tosses it back up almost like a jump ball situation in basketball. We see that a fair bit. New York has possession, but it slips through his hands, and here comes Denver once again, going by the man there in Aaron Gray, and we have a whistle, and it'll be a free kick. It'll go the way of the Denver Bulldogs. They're asking them to reset. And they give it again to Gray, who goes out the back door looking for Dan Duffield. And over to the far side, drop what he should have taken. There's that wet ball situation. He's held up quickly. Ball cried the crowd. Play on, says the umpire. It works its way out, picking that one up. And now sending that one in is Denver. 2-on-2 contest. Murphy wins it, but he lost his foot and accidentally spills the ball out of bounds. Boundary throw in. Good opportunity for Denver, still in that front left pocket.
Yeah, right now Denver's defense in the back is setting up very well. New York's having a hard time getting that past that line.
One thing we've seen, Tommy, across all three divisions that Denver's men are playing is that their structure is very, very good. And this is the case especially with the most experienced team here playing in Division I. This ball is sent down the ground and almost taken. Ball goes to ground, picked up, long ball up over the top, controlled there by Teddy Schleisman, who sends that one. If that's not a footy name, I don't know what is. And it's marked, and back the other way they come, where they find a friendly face out there in the number 10 for New York. Again, we don't have numbers associated with the names. That is Ryan Garthright picking that one off. Going up over the top, Garthright, of course, all-world for the International Cup in 2017. And we'll have a boundary throw in now 30 meters around on the other side. Love watching Garthright play. He absolutely earned those honors. He's a great defensive player.
Here's another guy that went down to Australia and played for a year, came back a completely different player.
It's amazing what a little bit of experience down there will do. That one clean bowls a couple of players, pops straight up in the air. Going after it is Pat Devlin. Couldn't control it, however, and now it's picked up by New York, but we have a free kick. It will go the way of Denver.
There's Timmy, the old stalwart.
Tim Wilson-Humphreys goes out the far side. He is, as they would say, he's been around since snake oil. Sent that one into the top of the 50-meter arc. No, it almost takes the mark. Going after it again was Gray for Denver. Ball again on the ground. The ball squirts out free. Picked up by the Bulldogs. Going back, couldn't handle that one. And you can see the wet ball, the tyranny of the wet ball. This is a Farinola sending that one up high, but then he's taken down. And New York wants a call, and the umpire says, give it to me, baby, and I'll throw this one up about 60 meters out. On the Watch AFL scoreboard, Denver 6, New York no score.
Yeah, right now with that wet ball, it's pretty ugly down there at times. But when they get it clean, everything looks really good for Denver.
Ball goes inside, knocked down, going after the mark, but he finds it, comes right to him, and he slams it home, does Dan Duffield, right into the goal umpire's shins, but that's good enough for 6 points.
That's another great example, front and center. Kids, if you want to know what front and center is, you just saw it.
Absolutely. That's textbook. Watch AFL scoreboard. Denver, 2 quick goals. They have 12 points. New York, no score. And that's the thing, Tommy. A lot of times, you might not be as skilled in terms of being able to hold the ball, especially in a situation like this where the ball is wet. But it's all about positioning. If you're a forward, you need to be in front of your defender because most of the time you'll get to the footy first.
Know your role. You had the big man going up for it. You had him hitting at the crumbs. Fantastic job for Denver.
Back underway once again. New York trying to find an answer here, as we mentioned. Coming in with a record of 1-0-1. That hard-fought draw against Seattle. A little bit of USAFL history. The only team to draw 3 times in a single season, Seattle.
Are we going to talk about kissing your sister or no?
No, I don't have a sister. I have to kiss somebody else's sister. As the ball comes upside.
That's a lot of sister kissing.
I mean, it is, but, my brother-in-law's sister, as it turns out. Ball's on the far side now as New York, again, trying to get on the Watch AFL scoreboard somehow as that one goes in, and it is marked defensively.
This is really the first time they've penetrated into that back 50. See a little bit of Denver's defense, see how they roll.
And it's something that you have to be very confident in to see that sort of dangerous back pass. Good pressure put on by the Magpies now. They have to go with the short game. They get this one up. It's tipped. Ball goes to ground. And now it's a 1-on-1, now 2-on-1. Everybody kind of binds to the proverbial rugby maul. And we'll have a ball up right in front of Tom Ellis and I.
I love how they're going after it ferociously at the ball.
Everybody had a good breakfast and perhaps a little bit of coffee this morning. At least we did. I don't know what you would. It's been a long time since I've had to prepare to play at a 9 a.m. game.
I'm feeling pretty good for a Sunday.
Yeah,
I'm feeling pretty good.
It really is. I only have a little bit of a headache. It's okay. I have to hydrate more. Ball goes to ground, and that's just normal hydration. I guess you also have to hydrate with Coopers. Free kick to New York. What can they do here? They need a goal, and they're going to need it quickly. And
just penetrate quickly, but
I think that's Robert McDowell who has the footy, sending that one inside 50. Clangs away. Goes and he picks that one up on a hop. I believe that might be Michael Habel who sends that one in towards the sticks from a weird angle. It drifts across, and a great defensive mark taken by Dan Bowen in the last line of defense for the Doggies.
That was an excellent job for New York to get that shot off.
Shots on frame, so to speak. And New York's going to need that. They trail on the Watch AFL scoreboard 12-0. Couple of minutes into this first half. If you're just joining us, we're playing 2 20-minute halves here in this men's Division I match. The ball comes out, throws out one up on the left. Now goes inside the 50-meter arc, bounces away. And going down to get it a long way was Marcus Colby as opposed to Thomas Dolby. She blinded him with defense as the ball goes to ground. And now we have a ball up as that will occur 35 or so meters around, 35 or so meters out from the New York target.
Yeah, New York's a great team. I mean, they're not going to go down quietly. They're putting in a fight right now. They need this. They need to get some points on the board now.
They've really done a great job, really building up their entire club, their women's team as well, with a good showing in Division I, going 1-1 yesterday. They'll play for 4th place a little bit later on today. Coached, of course, by Christina Licata, your counterpart with the USA Freedom. Free kick coming out the back. Garth Wright, I believe.
It's Max, it looks like, maybe.
Max Eckstein.
Maybe.
All looks the same from here as that one comes
Yes.
out. Almost take that off the fingertips there of Christopher Hall. And now up on the far side they come, Denver. And the ball's going out of bounds, boundary line right in front of the Cooper's beer tent. And you see some of our other sponsors, including Tasmania. Great to see Emily and all the other folks from Tasmania who have gathered to help put on this fantastic weekend and also keep footy going all day long.
A little bit of a break.
Here's a good kick inside the 50-meter arc, off of his shins, bounds away. Going after to get it is Lee McMahon. McMahon gets it, but he forgot the footy. That's the most important part. Now he tries to go down, and so does Farianola. And now there's a dog pile. He's taken down. The umpires in black and white to our right wanted a call. The ones in green refused to give it. Ball comes to the ground, and he's taken down. Ball cried the crowd. They get the ball anyway, and here's a clearing kick out to the near side. One-on-one contest. Picking that one up on a hop and turning with it is Mayberry. Mayberry RFD turns that one inside for the Magpies, but he's taken down, kept in play. 2 Bulldogs there, sends that one towards the sticks. That looks really good if it has the carry. It bounces across the face. It's gathered up in front, but then taken down, and the ball goes out of bounds. Mike Murphy wanted a call. He didn't get it, and now the hitting and now the intensity has picked up a little bit more, Tom.
Yeah, it was just bad luck for Denver. I think New York's going to wish they had gotten a little bit of scoring out of that when they got it down there.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Ball back in the play once again, right in front of the shadow of the Denver target. And now they're able to get that one out. They try to paddle that one on off the shins there of Krenkels. Krenkels couldn't get it cleanly. Again, the heavy overnight rain playing a lot of havoc with the ball as it gathers moisture. And again, it's that greased watermelon effect, or that greased whatever pig, watermelon, pigskin, whatever. It's just really hard. And if you're not familiar with ever seeing an Aussie rules football, it's not like football. There's American football. There's no dimples on it. It is a smooth surface. There's a shot right in front.
Took a mark.
And it's a great mark.
Looks like that was Tyler.
Tyler Ames, who has come over, longtime Denver Bulldog, but also played for Montrose and lately for Vermont in the Eastern Football League in and around Melbourne.
Another guy went to Australia. He's been down there now for quite a while. He come back. He's a much better player.
Also a really nice kid as he chops that one up over the top. The umpire comes up and says that's 6 points. On the Watch AFL scoreboard, 3 straight 18 Denver, no score New York, and Tyler Ames, we'll talk about him. I love his presence in the forward line. I love the fact that he's there. I love the fact that he's strong. And like you said, he's gone over to Australia. He's gotten so much more positioning and experience.
Position. That's the deal. You got to find. I mean, Americans are always going hard at it. It's just they get in the wrong spots a lot of times. Now he's learned where to get.
Ball in the air once again in New York, again trying to find an answer to all the questions that Denver is throwing at them. That one goes up high, ball goes to ground, and now going and picking that one up and clearing it out to the near side. Drops in front, and Denver's going to end up getting to this one. Long handball up over the top, off the hands, big bump thrown in there, able to jar the loose away from Machiavelli. Machiavelli has it, now pops this one up in the air, 3-on-2 for New York, almost taking the mark and going to ground as Adam woofs us, and the ball goes in, long handball up over the top. He's able to find Day. Day goes back to Machiavelli, who sends that one in, drops in front, long handball looking across Duffield, or check that, that's Howell. Howell with a bit of a howler, but finds Duffield. Duffield will line up from 50 meters out, might drop in front, might have the carry, and that one is bounced all the way home from way downtown, says Dan Duffield, and it's all one-way highway traffic here in the first half. On the Watch AFL scoreboard, 4 straight 24 Denver, no score New York.
That was all structure. If you looked across that, we had the ball down on this side. They looked immediately across. You had 3 people going across that line with structure, keeping their space. Denver opened it up, was able to get an easy, clean look at goal. That's the big key to it, getting good looks at goal.
What do you tell, if you're New York's coach, what do you tell them to do? How do you turn this around?
And they're going to have to man up. They got to get on the body-on-body.
Man-on-man football, as our friend Girl would say.
You've got to get back on it right now.
Ball back in the middle of the ground, and looks like the dream of going back to a grand final might be rapidly slipping away from the New York Magpies, but still a world of play. I will tell you that the wind is really kind of non-existent today. The flags look pretty placid over there.
This is the first time we've seen the game over on that side of the field.
Yeah, really. It is overcast as it is. It isn't as bad. It doesn't seem as threatening. We may actually see that giant gaseous ball in the sky at some point today. As the ball comes out now, Denver trying to push it forward, and then over to get it now is New York, who's going to stab that one forward and right into the shins there. Good tackle by Denver to force it loose, but New York maintains possession. Farinola is over there to maintain things. They want another call. They're not going to get it.
Oh, they just got it.
Oh, they did get it. They finally asked for it, and they got it. So here's a free kick to New York. They need to get something going. They're 60 meters from goal.
Yeah, these are 20-minute halves. You got to get something on the board now, or this game is over.
Oh, a little shake to the inside. Little handball all the way back, sending this one in short. Off the chest, it'll bounce away, and here they come in the other way. It is, in fact, a little bit as he take him down without the football, no call. Ball goes to ground now, trying to go after it, and now everybody goes down mushroom farming. And finally, somebody was able to pick up a fungus among us, and there's a free kick. They'll play on quickly, does New York, going into that pocket. Picked up now, and the ball will stay in play, and picked up by New York, but first it did go out of bounds. It'll be a bounder. No, it'll be a free kick, it looks like, for a high tackle. So New York will have the opportunity. They're starting to get some of this forward, but Denver's defense, every time they've gone inside 50, it seems like Denver has really stood up to the occasion. That's why they've kept them off the scoreboard so far.
Yeah, New York has some really good passes of play. It's just when they get down here, they haven't been able to get the ball to the goals. There's another behind, or a behind.
And that's gone through, and New York is finally on the scoreboard past the midway point of this first half. On the Watch AFL scoreboard, New York 1 point trails Denver 4 straight 24. 23 points the difference. Denver will come out to the near side. 2 options if you want him. Drifting over and taking a nice mark is Cremeri. Cremeri will turn around. He's got blue jumpers straight up the gut. Question is, will he look to continue up the corridor, or will he turn this one inboard? He goes off the side of the boot. Ball goes to ground, pops into the hands of Wolfsis. Little shovel pass for Ben Collins. Collins picks that one up on the left. He is absolutely decked behind play. Play on, says the umpire. Machiavelli goes in. It's a 2-on-2, now 3-on-3 back there inside 50. Good job to cover, but he dropped the footy. Murphy goes in, may have gotten away with the push in the back. Going after it is Schlesman. Schlesman turns around. Ball again goes to ground and finally cleared out by New York. Almost, and yes, taking a great juggling mark, but it wasn't paid. Yeah. No, it is paid. It wasn't paid initially, but then it was, and we'd love to tell you who that is, but we do not have, as we said, do not have numbers associated with the New York Magpies.
He is an Australian.
He is an Aussie. He does, yep, he does have the, you see some of the players with the bands. 3 players go up. The player out the back is the one that has it. Gets a good shepherd there, does Mayberry, and that one goes up the far side, goes out of bounds. Yeah, if you're looking and wondering how some of the players have their arms taped, those are the players that are considered to be non-nationals, and usually that means Australian. And remember, here in the USAFL, at least 50% of the players must be Australian, must be American, non-Australian, essentially. As the ball goes to ground, and in the back is called. And it looks like Denver's going to have another opportunity to add to their score before the end of the half.
These 20-minute halves, if you get this far behind, it's really hard to come back. Denver's setting themselves up right now for a really good second half.
And what's funny is we talked about, last year with the COVID restrictions, we were playing 4 10-minute quarters. There was really not enough time to get a whole lot of momentum. But with 2020, it's a lot different. This one is on the way, and Lachlan Fleet has added another one. And the Magpies have been absolutely blitzed for 5 goals here in this first half. On the Watch AFL scoreboard, Denver 5 straight 30, leading New York 1 behind.
Well, the Denver team has done really well this whole weekend. They're dominating right now. New York's gotten some really good passage of play, but right now Denver is just dominating.
And that's been their MO. It's vintage Denver.
It's good to see.
Yeah, it really is. And, of course, I'm talking, for those who don't know, I'm talking to somebody who's been a part either as a player or a coach of all 8 of those D1 national championships that they won between 2000 and 2011. Of course, Denver, if they win, it'll be their 12th appearance in a D1 Grand Final, the most of anybody at any level, as the ball goes to ground. And up on that far side now, just trying to get it out. The man in there for New York trying to take him down with a half Nelson, and finally he does. And finally, we'll have a ball up on that far side right in front of the flags.
Yeah, it's been a drought. It's been about 12 years now, 11 years.
That's a really cool plane.
Right over.
I think that's a B-52 or something. That's one of those twin prop, almost like a bomber. That's my ADHD taking over. I'm like, ooh, look, a plane.
That's it.
And that is halftime at the football. Well, it's been Denver Bulldogs for the first 20 minutes of this one on the Watch AFL scoreboard. 5 straight 30 to New York 1 point. It's a 29-point gulf. We know what Denver's doing right. What's New York doing right, and what can they do to hopefully turn this around?
It's when they get down to the forward line, they just haven't turned those into goals. You know, when you get down to that forward line, you've got to get those. When you hit that inside 50, you've got to put some points up. And they just haven't been able to. Denver's got some. I mean, they're just playing so defensive back there. So they're all over it. The pressure has just been fantastic.
It really has. Well, we'll tell you at halftime here at the Coopers Field, and also for our friends on Go Live Sportscast. Some of the things, first of all, we'll preview the 10 o'clock games coming up here on Division I. Bill Robert will be here, joined by Dan Sarbacker, one of your assistant coaches for the men's national team, Seattle Grizzlies and the San Diego Lions. Men's Division II over on Field 2. It'll be the Sacramento Suns and the Orange County Giants. That'll be a virtual semifinal for a chance at the D2 Grand Final later today. Men's Division III, Nashville and Arizona, another virtual semifinal. That's over on Field 3. On Field 4, I'll be over there for the Men's Division IV semifinal. That's an actual semifinal between Des Moines and Denver. And the other semifinal on Field 5 between the Las Vegas Gamblers and the Orange County Giants, part of that configuration. We'll tell you here at the ground that we got still, as a reminder, we've got the 11 o'clock, or sorry, we've at 4 o'clock. If everybody, all the players could gather here at Coopers Field so we could take a picture of everybody. We have the Fiji Airways giveaway, the raffle. So see Carrie in the merch tent to buy your tickets for that. We've got, what else we got? We've got the
They've
food.
had to make a killing on that.
I'm sure.
I mean, I want more tickets.
I want more tickets. So we've got that. And also we've got the USAFL Foundation as well. And I'm sure there are other things I've forgotten that I will remind you. Oh, we have the Masters versus Legends game. Speaking of the USAFL Foundation, all the proceeds will go to fit that. And we have the mateship match as well happening on the other fields at, I think, 1 and 2 o'clock. So we have that. We're going to take a quick little breather while the teams do the same. We'll be right back. You're watching the 2022 USAFL National Championships here on Go Live Sportscast. Back at the Silver Lakes Sports Complex here in Ontario, California. 2022 USAFL National Championships. Halftime about to end and the second half about to start. This Division 1. We're still in Division 1. Division 1 National Championship, or Division 1 men's game. Final round of pool play as the New York Magpies trail the Denver Bulldogs 30-1 on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Brian Barish alongside Tom Ellis, and we are underway again. As the ball goes out of the ground, now Denver now heading from left to right. The wind, again, not really a factor in this morning game so far. The ground is, however, it is wet. There's a handball up over the top looking for the man in Collins. Collins bootlegs around trying to get the ball free. And then that one goes up high, punched free. Ball goes to ground, now slapped forward. And it's picked up. Long handball up over the top. Goes out to get it is Schlesman. Schlesman turns out one inside. It skitters across and goes out of bounds, but not a bad situation for Denver. Their foot is still very much on the gas pedal.
Yeah, their tempo right here is really fast. That was really good to see.
Ball comes spinning back in the play once again. Gets knocked to ground. Cleared out by the number 2 for New York. And again, if you're just joining us, we don't have player identification for New York. That one is set for goal, and there's another one. This gentleman right here, it is once again, Dan Duffield. I think that's his third. And they have kicked 6 straight goals, have the Denver Bulldogs on the Watch AFL scoreboard. They lead 36-1. And Tommy, we were talking about the break. It helps when you kick the ball straight.
Yeah, 6, and I'm having a PNG flashback.
And for the uninitiated, 2017, the U.S. was playing Papua New Guinea. They kicked 14 goals, too. In fact, I think they kicked, their first 8 or 9? Straight?
Yeah, it just kills you.
Yeah, it really does. Of course, it also helps when you're able to really kind of suffocate the other team's offense, and that's what they've been doing. Here comes another one. That's 7 in a row.
There it is.
Somebody get a hose. They're on fire. And the Denver Bulldogs on the Watch AFL scoreboard now 7 straight 42.
I think we can start talking about this 12th final.
This 12th final and this 9th, and it's been a while since they've won one. 2011.
2011.
Defeating
been a drought.
Calgary, if memory serves correctly.
2011 would that have been Calgary?
Yeah, Calgary. The Calgary Kangaroos.
In Austin.
I think
Austin, that was their first win as a Division II team.
Yep. That was one of the first games I called play-by-play for, except it was for a crowd of people in the Cooper's Beer Tent, and nobody else was listening. There's another one sent in towards the sticks. That one's going to bounce through, and there is finally their first blemish.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
It is their first behind, 7-1-43, and now the lead is an even 7 goals on the Watch AFL scoreboard.
The structure behind ball, this is one of the very first times I've seen today where everybody's up forward. Fantastic structure. Everybody's moved up. There's no point to be back.
Yeah, there really isn't, and you're basically back there gathering moss. In a sense, if you're going to end up playing back there. So ball goes in the middle of the ground once again. And again, Denver just not letting up. I mean, it's actually kind of good to see because they might be playing Austin. They've got Golden Gate as well on the other side.
That's going to be
who they're lining up. That's a really, really good 11 o'clock game.
There's Tyler again.
There is Ames, and that one passes on the left-hand side, and in fact is going completely out of bounds on the full. So it'll be a free kick to New York.
Yeah, this is one of Tyler's best games. It's good to see a kid comes back from Australia. He's playing really well.
Can I just say, his mom Tamara is really nice too.
Yes,
she's around here too. She's lovely.
Yes, hopefully we get a donation out of that.
Yes. As the ball comes back in the play now. And
again, look at this structure. So if you're watching this on TV right now, Denver's structure is looking really good behind the ball.
Ball comes back in the play once again.
This is what's making it so hard for New York. Once they get away, they've still got another line to get through.
It really, really is. I mean, they are just not able to get any sort of movement past the halfback line. And the takedown here, and it'll be a free kick to Collins.
And they're keeping their space. Denver's doing very well with their spacing. They're keeping all that space. Boom.
And there's another mark, and once again presenting.
They kept that open for him. He had space to go to, led into it. Easy. When you kick to him in that front, there's nothing you can do defensively.
It's Lachlan Fleet. Between Fleet and Howell and Duffield They really have an amazing attack. I mean, those are just the guys that have really led. And this is basically what they did to win the Western Regionals at home in Denver a couple of months ago. Really have presented well. The kick is up on the way. Does it have the distance? No, it's knocked down in front. New York desperately trying to clear out, and they do for now up the far side. Ball takes a bouncy, able to get hold of it, and clears that one up the far side now. Going in, and here comes 53, and that is Ross Wilkinson. He'll send that one back, and the mark is taken.
Yeah, you just saw a hockey interchange happen right here. So you see Denver is like pulling off some of their starters. They're getting some of their backup in now. They know they've got a game later in the day. They're going to start trying to save some energy.
Ball's up on the far side.
Taking their time. Smart play.
Yeah.
Just take your time. You got plenty of time for goal. Run some time off. You've got this game wrapped up.
Kick is on the way from 50 meters out. Looks pretty good off the boot. And the goal umpire, his teammates like it, and so does the goal umpire. 8-1, 49 to 1 point on the Watch AFL scoreboard. And that's the other thing, Tommy. Now the question becomes game management insofar as you know you're going to have another game to play in about 6-7 hours' time.
Yeah.
You want to manage yourself. You want to manage how you are. You want to see this game out. You don't want any injuries. You want to be able to just go forward and leave here with a 3-0 record.
Yeah, these guys will finish this game out really hard. You're not going to see anybody stopping. You're just going to see some more reserves back in.
And that's both sides as well, because New York has not given up one iota. They have made Denver earn every single point they've had. Now they go once again into that corner pocket. It's two Magpies there, and one of them will pick that one up in between the right forward flank and halfback flank, or right back and half whatever, as the ball goes to ground. There's a lot of words. This is Bowen who picks this one up, sends it across, picked up out of the air. He spun, he dropped the footy, and are they going to call it? Yes, they are. He is going to be pinged as it went into the arms of Colby. But great job there. I believe that was there's a 2 at the end of it. It was Wolfsis who goes down, punched free, but right into the hands. Little handball, he turned it over. You could hear him go, didn't mean to do that. That would have sent forward, and it will go down. Ball will come back. Over to get this one is Bowen. Bowen will turn this one around. Ball goes to ground, and we have a ball up once again.
I'm just going to tell Timmy that if he'd wear both of those blue gloves, he would have taken that mark. So
yeah.
Just let Timmy know that.
Listen, I'm a proponent of wearing gloves in footy. I used to do it all the time.
I get all kinds of hassle because I wore those gloves.
There's nothing. Listen, there's not a dang thing wrong with it. It's always the Australians. It's only the Australians that complain about it. Ball goes up high, and it is marked nicely. And now here's another opportunity for New York to add to their scoreboard a little bit. And again, we have no names, no numbers, or we have names, but we have no numbers associated. So
he is Australian.
He is Australian. We know that. And that narrows it down by about 50%.
Correct.
Kick is up on the way. It starts right, it stays right, and it's punched down in front and goes through for a behind. For scoring a while for the Magpies on the Watch AFL scoreboard, they have 2 points. They trail by 47. That's the margin.
We're probably about halfway through this last quarter.
Yep.
Or half.
Well, we're in essentially the last quarter of this match. Handball's in short, finding Colby. She blinded me with science, but now blinds her with the football. Ball cried the crowd. Oh, there's a little bit of pushing and shoving.
Denver's got to keep it.
They got to keep their cool here.
You don't want to get thrown out of this game and lose the next game.
No, you really don't. And that's what New York maybe trying to get into their heads a little bit. I mean, they don't want to affect them too much.
Yeah, New York could care less if they get thrown out of the game. They'll miss a game next year.
Yeah, pretty much. We'll play on complete, or what will happen. No, it looks like the wrong player had the footy. And now it will be Farinola, or check that. That's Cremeri who has it, and he turns it over. So all that, and it's a turnover. So here is New York. New York, they're trying to get a little something going here, trying to get some momentum to finish out this great season that they've had. And it's going to come apparently one game short, but again, still plenty of time. Great tackle from behind by Collins to affect the kick. Ball stays in play. New York has it, manages to keep it in, goes in short, picked up, turns that one inside, and ball goes down. Loose ball in front. And they try and get it out. Ball still in play. We heard a whistle.
That's
a shot on goal, and he's got it. So there's something to cheer for the New York Magpies on the Watch AFL scoreboard. They go to 1-2-8. They still trail 8-1-49, but good for them. They haven't given up at all. Denver, maybe their game plan has changed a little bit, but they've done a fantastic job, New York, of keeping the pressure on, and they get a result.
Yeah, just took the foot off a little bit there. Making a lot of switches right now. I think they just got caught out a bit.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. So, back in the middle of the ground now, 49-2. Denver looks to be heading to their 12th Division I National Championship Grand Final in search of their 9th championship and their first in 11 years. That's a long way from now. We'll find out a little bit later on. We've got Austin playing Golden Gate at 11 o'clock. You do not want to miss that one. Bill Robert will be here to have that one alongside Troy Thompson from World Footy News. That will be probably, we've had that game circled for some time, Tommy, and I know you're going to be an interested spectator to watch that one as well.
Yeah, that's going to be super intense. That's going to be a really good game.
Austin trying to end the California Hex. Remember the last time that they didn't make the grand final, they lost to LA in the group stage. And, of course, LA went on to lose the Golden Gate. That's 5 years ago when we were in San Diego.
That ball is evil. Sometimes that ball is just evil.
Ball now up into the top of the square. Almost had it, staying with it. Now dropped it, picks that one up. Just got it away, did Amesy. He's going to hand that one off to Collins. Ball cried the crowd. But New York able to clear that one out, but only as far as Hall, who had that one. So check that was Gray, who had a clean bowl him. Ball goes now into the middle of the ground, and it's almost marked by Murphy, who still got his right paw to it. And now they're just playing soccer, New York. Somebody's got to pick it up. Finally, Denver does, and tries to send that one into the top of the sticks. One-on-one contest. Going after that is Hall. Hall and one of the New York defenders now. Goes back to play that across. Ball goes to ground. And picked up. Sends that one back the other way.
Denver will be happy just to keep this ball down here. Ball in. That's fine. That's a win.
And if you've watched the AFL before, you'll notice here there's no time on. So the clock always runs. The only time it'll stop is if there's a serious injury and we need to rectify that situation. But time ebbs away every time the ball is out of bounds. Whenever the ball is stationary and there's no time run, and rather the time keeps running, the clock doesn't stop, that's just a little bit closer to the end of this match and a victory. Almost taking that one was Clayton. Saw it bounce off of the logo, and then Gray sends that one, tried to get that one back with the bounce, but it goes through for a behind. Back to 7 straight, the difference. They go to 7-2-50 to 1-2-8. I'm sorry, it's 8-2-50. I can do my maths.
I think one of the things that we've seen in the last couple minutes that makes this game so good is guys are in the right position, but the ball's like, nope, we're not going to be here.
The tyranny of the oblong ball.
It just makes the game so exciting because even though it looks like it's going to happen, it can just change on a dime.
It really can. And they've gone through, they added another behind as we were watching the play here. 8-3-51 on the Watch AFL scoreboard. 1-2-8. That one again, that's another intercept mark.
Denver's defensive structure.
It's the structure. It really is. And that's the thing. You have to play, I don't know of very many sports when you're an offensive player that you need to play defense. I mean, I guess in certain sports there is that sort of aspect of it. But now you find yourself as a forward, you're almost playing like a strong safety or a free safety to put in the gridiron parlance.
Yeah, you got to put that pressure on right away.
Another mark, or a defensive mark, back the other way comes New York. That one is picked off once again by Colby, who sends that one to the top. Ball taken down, and we have a free kick. You've got him around the neck, and it's a free kick for Denver, and they have a chance to add to their lead.
Taking his time. Just take your time.
As you should.
All right, he's taking that much time. Now he's going to have to make a goal.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can't put a point up on that one.
No.
You take that much time, you got to put it through, Tyler.
But it's almost like a free throw. If you've watched basketball at home, it's like everybody has a routine. Take your time, fix your gloves, fix your shoes. He comes in, does Tyler Ames, throws that one on the right, It's going to be very close, but I think it did just sneak in, and it did. Tyler Ames adds one. 9th goal of the game for the Denver Bulldogs on the Watch AFL scoreboard, and that just adds to the mystique. 9-3-57. The lead is 49 points over New York, 1-2-8.
So now you're looking at it, right? They're going to be matched up either against Austin or Golden Gate. Both of those teams have great Aussies. They got great Americans. I think this final coming up here later this afternoon is going to be rocking.
Worth mentioning that Denver has never played Golden Gate in a grand final, in the D1 grand final. They did play against Austin in 2019 in Florida, and a game that was, I think Austin it was a little bit of back and forth. Austin kind of ran out fairly early to win. And here once again is another chance. This is Collins who sends that one across the face, and another behind. So now it's 58-8. It's now an even half-century lead. And it'll be interesting to see how they go. But here's the one thing worth mentioning. Austin has only lost twice in the last 2 seasons, both times to Denver. Once in Denver and this year in Seattle.
Yeah. It's not a mistake that Denver has been going to play Austin the last 5 years.
Yeah.
That's been the target. They've been the pinnacle of Aussie rules football in the U.S., and Denver wants it back. They got to go after them. So that, they've been trying to get there, so it's good to see.
Ball goes now in, and here again is Howell, who sends that one in. Ames chasing after it, shoves his defender out of the way, wins the footy. Now looking for a handball up over the top. Murphy is going to go chase it. Cremery! Oh, and that was just touched. I think that might have also clipped the goalpost, but Murphy, Magic Murphy, what enterprise he has for the football, and they only get a point out of that. And now the score on the Watch AFL scoreboard is 9-3-59. I'm sorry, 9-5-59 to 1-2-8.
Well, you love seeing that. I mean, he hasn't quit. He's still in there playing hard, throwing his body on the line. He could have let that just go through.
That's how Magic is. That's how he lives his life. He just always gives you 100%. As the ball comes back in the play. How excited are you? I'm wondering. At little Atlas Murphyus will be playing for you soon enough in about 15, 20 years.
Oh, it's going to be good. He probably won't be playing for me, but he'll be playing for the Revolution.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, you'll be involved somehow.
I'll be somewhere, but I'm not sure.
That's a hell of a pedigree. 2 national team players. Of course, Drea Casillas is Atlas's mom, and of course Mike's wife. As the ball is up on the far side. And looks like a boundary throw and upcoming. As you see the Tasmanian side, thanks to Tasmanian and Cooper's, our major sponsors for this tournament. And, of course, Watch AFL sponsoring the scoreboard. And it looks like we've got a 50-meter penalty, 25-meter penalty has been assessed as everybody kind of meandering down.
As you were watching that last passes of play there when New York got the ball and started to move, if you watch that as somebody that hasn't seen the game before and you saw the defense of Denver move with it, the structure there was really, really good, and that's how they cut it off. Because they were going off. It's like a fast break, basically. You're taking off on a fast break. These guys moved their zone over to the fast break and stopped it. It's a really good example.
Pace of the play is kind of slowed a bit, but here comes a shot for goal upcoming. The kick is up on the way. It's not going to make the distance. Ball drops down in front, picked up by Howe. Handballs again, looking for, I believe it was Ames. Garthwaite out of nowhere off the deck, but a whistle was blown before all of that. It's going to be a free kick to somebody. I think it's going to be a free kick to Denver.
Is that Lee?
Yeah.
30.
Lee McMahon.
Yeah. It looks
yep.
Like,
no, that's Christopher Hall, number 30.
30.
Yeah. And McMahon is 20. Yeah, this is Hall. But we haven't found Oates yet. Maybe Hall will find his Oates without the E. There's your music joke for the morning. There will be plenty more. Hall's kick is on the way. It is touched on the line.
Let's see if you got it. Yeah.
And it did. So, a goal's worth of behinds, as our friend Bill Robert would say, and Bill is getting ready to call the next match coming up on Go Live Sportscast between San Diego and Seattle. They come out to the near side. Watch AFL scoreboard says, what is that? 9-6-60 to 1-2-8, 52-point lead. Waning moments of this one. Denver set to go to the Division I Grand Final, which will be right here at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. 4:30 Pacific time. That'll be 7:30 p.m. on the East Coast, 5:30 in Denver. And if you're watching us back in Australia, that's a 10:30 p.m. start Monday morning. I hope you can stick around and eat breakfast with us as the ball goes out of bounds at another boundary phone. And there it is.
There it is.
And the Denver Bulldogs have gone 3-0 in pool play. They are the winners of Pool B, and they will play later on this afternoon for their 9th USAFL National Championship and their first in 11 years. The final score on the Watch AFL scoreboard, the Denver Bulldogs 9 goals, 6 behind, 60 points, 1 goal, 2 behind, 8 for a very valiant but ultimately a very outclassed New York Magpie side. Final thoughts very quickly from you, Tom Ellis.
They dominated the Pool B. They just dominated all 3 games. They look as good as they've always looked when they've gone to a championship game. So this next game that we see, who's going to play them, whoever that is, Golden Gate or Austin, they've got their hands full.